Hello and welcome to History 112, History of the United States from 1865 to the present. I'm Eric Juergens, your instructor. This is the first part of my introductory video to this class, in which I will go over briefly with you the major assignments as well as the course learning outcomes, just to get you more familiar with them. You will, of course, have seen these all on the syllabus, but we all like to, I think, hear and see people talking about things. So I'll go ahead and start with discussing the major assignments. So first, there are three different exams throughout the course of the semester that cover different materials that we'll be looking at in the main textbook and in the other textbook that we'll be looking at, the Native American Testimony. And these short research papers, which is essentially what these exams are, you'll have the opportunity to utilize all of the different materials and sources that you will have available through Canvas. So I'll talk about those in more detail when they get closer to arrival. The second major project is the research project, in which you'll be linking the past to the present. You'll be choosing people, events, trends, policies, etc., and linking different things that happened or that were involved with these in the past and making parallels to what's going on now. Just to give you an example, some students, talked about the Black Panther movement in the 1960s and drawing some parallels between the Black Panther movement and Black Lives Matter. So there are a lot of different possibilities for that assignment, and I will talk in more detail about that as I get closer to formally assigning that in a couple of weeks. In addition to the exams and the research project, there are, as you have already seen, a number of smaller discussion-based and response-based assignments that you will be doing through Canvas. Some of you have already completed those. Thank you very much. And these assignments will allow you to engage with these texts directly and with me and with other students. And so I'm hoping that these are things that will help generate interesting and valuable discussion, because this, as much as we are not going to be face to face, I'm hoping that there will be a lot of interesting discussion, a lot of lively discussion, civil discussion, because we'll be talking about a lot of, I guess, big and complicated ideas, but I'll talk about those more in the second part of the video. So as you have seen also, each chapter of the the main textbook, the American Promise, there will be ungraded reading quizzes which will sort of help you go over some of the most important terminology and ideas in those chapters, because many of those ideas will return for requirements in the various exam questions that you will have to address in the essays that you write for them. So I'm trying to interconnect everything as much as I possibly can. So I then want to go over with you briefly the course learning objectives, and those include learning about the role of different ethnic groups in the progress, I guess if you want to call it, of American U.S. history. So that includes blacks, indigenous peoples, Asians, Latinx, basically any group that came from elsewhere or was originally here but was marginalized by the power structures that came to be. We will be going over then some of the most important events, people, ideas in the broad span of United States history from 1865. Again, this is a survey course, so naturally this analysis is going to be very superficial or just kind of be bouncing around on the surface. Then you'll be introduced to sort of the basics of the research process, thus the major research paper. And speaking of the research paper, this paper will also include a multimedia presentation of some kind. So it can be a video that you shoot. It can be a Spark video. There are a lot of different possibilities for this technology. And part of this assignment will also include you creating your own original, historically accurate meme. Later on during the semester, I will show you the meme that I created for this assignment. I hope you enjoy it. And also the last course outcome is an introduction to the wide variety of different kinds of research materials. So not just printed texts, but songs, movies, television, poems. So that's one of the reasons why I introduced this class using those poems by Layli Long Soldier, because she has a very particular perspective on the events that she discusses, and they're very important historical sources because she is interpreting these particular events through her own point of view. In the next part of this video, I'm going to be going over a little more detail about ideas of historical perspective and point of view and memory. Okay, and just also as a note, your research paper, for those of you who are liberal studies majors, this is the artifact that the faculty uses to assess you and also to assess the effectiveness of that assignment for helping you achieve the course outcomes and the program outcomes. So if you look at the syllabus, you'll see more information about the course outcome, about the course artifact. Okay, so that's sort of the basic overview of the class assignments and the course learning outcomes. Again, I hope that we have an enriching experience despite the fact that I'm going to be talking to you in my wonderful office space with my holiday tree in the background. So again, I remind you of the virtual office hours that I hold every Friday at noon in the Google chat room. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, you just want to come along and say hi to myself and to your fellow students, please do. Again, that's every week on Fridays starting at noon, starting tomorrow, August 21st. So coming up next is part 2 of this video, so stay tuned.